Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast. My name is David, and I'm joined every single week for a podcast about board games and video games by my brother, Devin. How are you doing today, Devin?
Who are you?
Yeah. I picked him up off the street. He doesn't know why we're here.
No. I'm doing good. Fantastic, actually. Life is blooming. I'm healthy.
Blooming.
I don't know if that's a good word.
Like a blooming onion.
Like a blooming flower in the sunset.
Yeah. Who has a blooming onion?
I don't even know what that is.
It's like, what's that place? Wallaby Steakhouse? Or Chili's? Somebody has a blooming onion. They like cut an onion like a flower and then fry it so that it kind of like opens and looks like a blooming flower. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like a giant onion ring.
It's probably awesome.
Probably pretty good, yeah.
Crazy. I'm doing well, though, yeah. No complaints here.
Nice.
Happy, healthy. It was sunny today.
It was.
Eating a lot of good food. What else is going on? Working out, watching movies.
Yeah. We went and got sushi on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time. I have a predicament. I love sushi.
Same.
The predicament is about 2, maybe 3 years ago. I can't remember the exact timing. My wife found out she has celiac disease, so she can't have gluten anymore. So basically, any sushi roll that has anything fried in it, out. What's the other stuff? Eel sauce, I think, generally has gluten, so out.
Eel sauce slaps.
I know. And so we've loved sushi the whole time we've been married. But now when we go, we try to get the one she can eat. Obviously, I'll sometimes get like one roll that is just like David's roll, but then I feel like a jerk.
As you should.
Yeah. And if you're only eating like a California and a rainbow and I don't know, anything else that doesn't have any of like the spicy mayo or anything else, they start to like kind of blend together and not taste different enough. So we went on last Friday and we were like, this is our favorite place. We've come here for like 10 years. And I think we'd need to try a different sushi place because for the rolls we can get, there's not quite enough like variety. We go to this place because they do like for $21 all you can eat. Me and you should go.
Oh, I'm too down. I don't feel like I would miss the fried stuff that much.
Yeah, I
typically don't get.
I don't love the fried stuff either a ton, but I do like a tempura shrimp one. Like one of those is pretty good.
And that would be considered fried.
Yeah.
Okay, that is good. But I also like the long strips of crab or whatever they're throwing over the top of that. And I do like the sweet sauce. That's what I would miss the most.
Yeah.
But then there's really good rolls that are simple and they have like a little lemon on them and.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. We like one of those.
They're still sweet.
Yeah.
Yum.
But yeah, so we've loved it because it's like a really good value because we can get like 7-8 rolls or whatever for $50, you know. But because of that restriction, we're gonna have to start going to this other place called Ito Sushi. It's down like 20 minutes away from Provo, I think, and it's just a nicer establishment. And they will make everything gluten free. They have like a gluten free, kind of glaze and stuff, and gluten free tempura.
Oh wow, that's amazing!
So you can do all of that. You got like kind of got to double your price, you know.
Oh wow, it goes up that much?
I don't think it's quite that much, but you're probably looking at like $15 a roll. And so if we're getting 6 rolls, we'd probably just eat less. So I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. The sushi, it seems like there are 2 categories of sushi places. You got like the come and eat as much as you want until you pass out.
Right.
And it's like not the highest quality.
Sometimes they're still good.
And sometimes they're still good. Yeah, you find a good one. Or you've got the places that are like, no, this is high end. We want you to pay $20 a roll. And it's going to taste great. But I'm not rich, so that's a hard thing to get to.
Well, last week we talked about New Year's resolutions, and you talked about like spending no money. Yeah. Can we get rid of sushi?
Get rid of sushi.
Yeah.
So that we can spend no money. We do still have a very small like like date budget.
Oh, you've thought of this.
Yeah, so that is included. Continuing on like the well, we'll talk about that later, but I did spend $1.43.
Unreal.
So I can't, I'm breaking the budget, but it was for a good cause, you'll see.
Are we all gonna see today?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it a little bit later in the episode. Awesome. But anyways, that's our sushi dilemma. I said that weird, sushi dilemma. Other than that, Devin, also been watching a few movies. We're caught up on Beast Games. Still kind of fun, silly. It is crazy how much they pit the contestants against each other. So they'll like you need to pick a captain, and then that captain has to lie to everybody on the team, basically, for like some of these. They're like, they have the main show, winner gets $5 million. Is it 5? I think it's 5. And then like halfway through, there's like 50 people left. And they say, okay, do you want to compete in some extra challenges to win this $1.8 million island?
Mm-hmm.
If you do and you lose, you're off the show for good. You don't even get to compete for the rest. So only like 9 of the people decided to do that. And so they're almost done with that little side story about who's going to win the $2 million island. But yeah, it's crazy. They have to lie to each other, and it's nuts. Other than that, we watched a movie that I quite enjoyed. It was pretty good. It's called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I've seen it, but I have no memory of it.
Henry Cavill and Alan
Richter.
Yeah, something. Is that it, Richter?
I don't know.
I always want to say Rickman, but he's definitely Richardson. Not Alan Rickman from Professor Snape. But yeah, he's the guy from Reacher who's ultra jacked, and they play like this group of like people in World War II that are British, and I think they were like in prison and kind of like criminals, but I think it was Winston Churchill like really needed something about the war to change, so they like, and this is actually a true story. It's kind of nuts. I don't know that every detail of the story is true, but they actually like found a record of this in that dude's journals or whatever. But they picked this guy to be the captain of this secret mission to, I think it's sink a specific German boat that had a bunch of the supplies for all of the German U-boats, like those submarines that were sinking basically every ship that came into the area, so that they could get supplies in, have a better chance in the war, and so that America could eventually join the war and send their troops over, because they wouldn't be able to without those U-boats being taken care of. So kind of crazy. They trusted like this little ragtag group, but very funny, kind of action-oriented movie. Tiny bit violent, but not like too crazy. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't shoot for a PG-13. I think if they cut like maybe 1 or 2 cuss words, they're there.
Sometimes I feel like they think they've got to throw it in.
And I think there's only 3 F words, and I'm like, I think you can have 2. So like, what are you doing?
The movie would have sucked with just 2.
Yeah. And I think they would have made more money for a movie like that. That's like kind of about like this spy thing. It's like Mission Impossible, but like a little more crazy. So I don't know. I was kind of surprised at that. Really enjoyed it though. Funny. Henry Cavill's amazing. Really like him. And Alan, whatever his last name is, really like him. Mm-hmm. He plays this funny Danish dude that's like pretending.
He's Danish in that?
I think so. And he's pretending to be Swedish or whatever. And the first 5 minutes of the movie is like this German boat boarding their little fishing boat. And it's a clip that's been on social media quite a bit of like the Germans getting all mad at them, and they're like, "Oh no, you're in trouble now!" And he like pretends to be Swedish.
Oh no,
it's really really funny. But
I was scrolling through Star's subscription. I don't know when you added that.
That I started a 7-day free trial to watch that movie.
Oh, I just happened to come across it last night, and I was like, "Ooh, a bunch of new things to watch."
Nice. I scrolled through a few. Sorry to cut you off, and I'll let you tell me. But with that subscription, after the movie ended, which we really enjoyed. Pretty good. True story. They like show pictures of the actual people at the end, and like they got all like these medals of honor, and it was really cool. I scrolled through the stars list too, and I was like, man, there is nothing on here.
There were a couple things I wanted to watch, like Borderlands, even though it bombed.
Yep.
I still kind of want to watch it just because of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I watched. I forgot the first one. My memory is not there. Anyways, I remember the second one.
Okay, we'll get back to the first one.
It's based on a true story as well. Group of firefighters. They become the hotshot firefighters, which are more engaged in the fires.
Oh.
And it's got Thanos.
Oh, yeah.
And
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin. It's got the Maverick kid.
Glenn Powell?
No. The other one that's well known.
From Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
Miles Teller?
Yes, that guy. Dude, there's so many actors that I recognize in that.
Yeah.
That show was very good.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Very sad.
I'm sure somebody dies.
Maybe. But yeah, I watched that. Enjoyed that. And then I watched... There was something else I watched on Stars, and I do not know what it was. I'd have to look. It's not going to come to me. If it does later in the show, I'll make sure to mention it.
That's all right. Every time I see the Stars logo, I always picture Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 on Stars.
And does he say that?
Yeah, because Jill Valentine and the people are part of the Stars, police department or whatever. And so I don't know if he says that in the new remake, but in the original, he's standing there with his rocket launcher, Stars, and then blows up the helicopter.
Okay, so on that topic,
so I wish they had that as their mascot.
That'd be amazing if it sounded the same too. Anytime you see Stars or any of those intros or producers, I don't know if it's producers of movies or who created the movie. I don't know. You know, it's
like the
like the Fox thing,
20th Century Fox or.
Okay, so I decided. I was thinking about it. I was like, what are the most nostalgic ones to me? And I think THX.
Oh yeah.
That loud noise.
Yeah, really loud noise.
And then Columbia Pictures. Yes.
Yeah.
I was watching that and I was like, I haven't seen this in a while, but that's very, very sentimental to me for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you have a favorite?
I think those two are pretty well known. Then obviously the 20th Century Fox one. I think that one became more popular after the kid with the recorder really botched it in that funny meme. And then there is the is this Columbia? What's the one with the star? Paramount? The stars that go over the water and then over the mountain. Mm-hmm. And then Disney's had quite a few, obviously.
And then Universal.
Yeah.
Is something.
Is that with the Earth?
The Earth.
And the letters coming from it. That reminds me of Jurassic Park for some reason. I think those were Universal. Yeah, I don't know. Those are probably the ones I most remember. MGM with the lion. On a few things, not as many.
I remember Lion's Gate pretty well because I watched so many Saw movies.
Oh, funny. Or Blumhouse always had creative ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was one more I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, those are fun. I do like good branding, and those kind of memorable things. I like whenever I see, and this is just personal bias, whenever I see Sin Copy, and I know it's a Christopher Nolan movie. Heck yeah!
Is it always?
I think so. I think that's his production company. Just like what's his name? Steven Spielberg has Amblin Entertainment, I think.
Which is E.T. on the bike, is it not?
That's the logo, yeah. I think that is Spielberg's thing. I like the Bad Robot one.
Yeah.
That one's cool. I think that's J.J. Abrams, if I remember.
Dang, we're going to have to go through all these one day and...
Yeah, what's the best one?
Do a tier list.
If I had to pick a favorite...
I think Columbia wins it for me. I don't know. Forget it.
Yeah, that's tough. I like almost all of them.
Yeah. What one gets you the most hype for a movie?
Without knowing who's directing it, so that kind of cuts out Bad Robot and the Steven Spielberg one and the Christopher Nolan one. Then I'm all about I like the Warner Brothers one too. With for a while they had
Water Tower?
What was that? Animaniacs Water Tower?
Yeah. I
Or
remember
maybe they
the
had a water tower before the Animaniacs. But
I remember the Animaniacs theme song.
yeah.
I'm not gonna sing it for you. Maybe later.
Yeah, maybe later. Yeah, there's some good ones. I don't know. I'd probably. That 20th Century Fox one is really good.
Wait, so that's the one he botched on the recorder?
Yeah.
Well then, so what's the Columbia one sound like?
Columbia is the lady standing like this, right?
I saw it the other day and I was like, the music or the sound to that made me very
I can't
happy.
remember what the sound is for that one.
Oh no. I don't either. I heard it like yesterday, so.
We need to like pull them all up, do a tier ranking of those or something.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'd probably go with the 20th Century Fox one as like my favorite that I can think of at the moment. But I do like a lot of them. It's funny how many of them have become memes. Even the MGM one with the lion, that guy burping. Have you seen his head in there?
Nah,
where the lion is, it's like a crazy burp.
Well, even like the Pixar lamp.
Yeah,
like
that's
jumps
a good one.
and bounces on the eye or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I want to make those for a career. Someone hire me. I don't know how, but I'll learn for you.
Yeah, you got to make something cool. Yeah, those are cool. Now I'm going to be thinking about them all night. But that's okay. There are worse things to think about in this world, I guess.
Very true, yeah.
Well, excuse me. The cough is almost gone. Taken a ton of Dayquil since last week. And hopefully it won't bug us too bad. There's not really any news today, so it'll be a shorter episode.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Well, let's hop right into it. This is a podcast about board games and video games, the games that we were playing. In the previous week, we recorded an episode every single week. This is episode number 42, if I didn't say at the top. Can't remember if I did. You can get the episodes a few days early, right into the show, and get some other perks on our Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers. And yeah, we also do some other content. I have a board game YouTube channel that's Gaming Top Down. And yeah, it's just generally a good time. We talk about the news in the industries, what we're playing, what we're most excited about, and try to end with some fun segment if we can. So please subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to stuff. All right, Devin, we're going to swap over to the screen like we always do for our first segment. And we can see here, I forgot to change the screen from black. There we go. Now we're at the screen. First segment is new games to subscription services for this week. And somehow there are new ones every single week, which is crazy. But for PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, that's the middle and highest tier of PlayStation Plus, there are new games. You can see the headliner here is God of War Ragnarok, which is a big get. I feel like everyone's played it, though.
I would say so, too. Yeah.
If you haven't, then this is an excellent month for you. Super game, just great. Maybe a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but it's still amazing. I would like to try the Valhalla free kind of a DLC that they came out with. But free games, we've got... Oh yeah, they even started with it. God of War Ragnarok on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Please don't play it on a PlayStation 4. I guess unless you have no other option, but it's very good. You got Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. I don't know that one. It's in the Yakuza series, which has so many games now, I don't think I'll ever be able to jump in. It's kind of like Japanese GTA with much more silliness as well. Got Atlas Fallen, Reign of Sand. I have never heard of this game in my life. This action RPG. Uh-oh, Devin, it has online 2-player co-op.
Oh, shoot.
We might have to play it then. I do love some online co-op. What's this next one? SD Gundam Battle Alliance.
I want to play a game in this genre that's good.
Like knockoff Transformers?
Yeah.
Nice.
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I always end up playing the same genres. It's like...
Yeah, that's true.
FromSoft games, either super cute games,
Mm-hmm.
Rocket League. The end.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Lies of P did for me, is it, like, kind of changed up the aesthetic. And I was like, this is cool. It's not just knights and dragons.
Yeah.
And anyways, continue.
Yeah, good one. Sayonara Wild Hearts. This one's been out for a couple of years, but it's supposed to be a pretty good indie game. Very cool art style. Then we got Anno Mutationum.
Mutationum? Mutationum.
It's a 2D meets 3D cyberpunk world of Anno Mutationum. Ugh. Action-adventure game with RPG elements. You become Anne. There you go. Orcs Must Die 3. I guess they didn't die in the first two, though.
They refused, yeah.
I think those are supposed to be pretty fun, actually. Not to make fun.
Really? Okay.
Citizen Sleeper.
Dude, a lot of people are going this art style.
Yeah.
So many games now.
Yep.
I like it. No
I've
complaints.
heard this is a pretty good game, but I have not played it. Oh, I think it's turn-based, inspired by tabletop role-playing games. So we'll see. I'm very picky with that.
Same.
Poker Club. If you like poker, has Ultra HD 4K visuals. Ooh, baby.
Oh, my.
Okay, then jumping up to PlayStation Plus Premium, there are a few other games for them as well. Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings. Originally released in 2009 on PlayStation 2. Oh, that's kind of fun. I have never seen any footage of that PlayStation 2 game.
So that new Indiana Jones game is a remake?
No, it's a completely new one. I think it's called The Circle of Destiny.
Oh, this is a different.
This is a different.
Okay, they gotta not be confusing me like that.
Yeah, for reals. Medieval 2. The first Medieval was completely remade for PlayStation 4. This is just the PlayStation 1 version remastered. But I know a lot of people love Medieval. You play as, I think, this hero who was a hero until he died. And now
He looks kind of dead. It looks like his body is a hand. And I've definitely seen him before.
Yeah. I think his name's like Sir Galahad. Nope. Sir Daniel Fortesque.
Galahad was way close.
What's Galahad from? I don't remember. Anyways, that is all of the games coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. I think it's next Tuesday, which is the 21st. So look for them then. You can play them as long as you are subscribed. Other than that, the Epic Game Store is the only other place that has a free game. This is Escape Academy, which I think I've heard is a pretty good. It's kind of like an escape room type game where you're clicking on stuff, trying to solve puzzles to escape. I haven't played this one specifically, but I have played a couple like it, like The Room. And yeah, definitely solving a lot of puzzles. It looks like you do move around in first person though. So interesting. They might even have oh, look at that. Escape rooms in single player or co-op.
Oh yeah, be way more fun with a friend.
Yeah. Have you ever done an escape room, Devin?
I've not, but like 2 nights ago, I watched the escape room Tourney of Champions. Tourney of
What? Is that a movie?
Winners?
Or a TV show?
They made a movie, and then they made a sequel from all the people that won the first escape room trials.
Interesting.
And they brought them all back together. I don't know. It was fine.
That's fine. I've done one escape room in my life. I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun. Also, as a second story before we go to the next one, we did a virtual escape room as a company holiday party.
Really?
And it was hosted by this company in Europe. And they were all like dressed up like Christmas elves. And we make fun of them in our company Slack chat very often. I think his name was like Bibby. Bibby was the elf who like guided us through the virtual escape room. And
was it cringy?
Oh, very.
So was it kind of fun?
It was kind of fun, but also like, man, you don't have to throw in that crazy elf voice. Like, we get it.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, all right. Next up, we got what we've been playing. Devin, I did it.
He did do it. I got a text message even.
I beat 9 souls, baby. I had a couple runs where I was just feeling it. I don't know. I just got in a groove. I've been fighting this last boss for a couple of weeks, and there's a couple endings you can get in Nine Souls.
Oh, really?
Depending on if you have finished all of like the side story, you can craft this special weapon. I won't say more
Cool.
than that. And if you do that ending, I think that ending is the only ending where this final boss has a third phase. Because I did the
Oh,
other ending, no third phase.
really?
I did yeah. Anyways, so I did it on the much harder version first, but still love the game. I think that true ending is really great. The game is amazing. One of my favorite games I've ever played. Just love it, love it, love it. I've talked about it a bunch over the
Yeah.
last few weeks.
Were you able to get the platinum?
I don't have the platinum. I have 2 trophies that I missed. I made 2 dumb decisions
I see.
like early on,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll have to get them in a second playthrough. I do imagine I'll play it again someday, so I'm just kind of saving them for that. So I've got 2 trophies that I need to get.
Did you use any of the jades I set up for you, or did you
Yeah,
switch
I
back?
won with that set.
Oh, shoot.
I
I set
think
him up with the right build.
yeah, the build that we did helped me like take less damage. I think when
Mm-hmm.
I got hit, and it did help. I had like a 30-minute span where like my fingers were like bleeding almost. It was nuts. Where like I would, I think I did 4 or 5 attempts at this boss, and like an attempt, if you're doing good and lasting to the third round or third phase, is like 10 minutes long, right?
Ooh,
I
yeah, it's
had
long.
2 times right in a row where I died, where she had a sliver of health left, and I don't think I've been more mad at a game in a while than that. But luckily, I persevered, and on like the next try after those, I did do it. So not as mad at it anymore. But love Nine Souls. If you haven't played it, if you are okay with a game that's pretty tough, even if you don't want to play a tough game, you can switch it to story mode. You won't be able to get 1 gold trophy if it's on story mode.
Mm.
And in story mode, you can completely tweak with a slider how much damage you take and how much damage you deal. So you can like bump it up to like 400% and just crush
Yeah,
everything.
anyone could have fun with it. I think you could. Yeah, I think anybody could enjoy it based on the difficulty they want it to be, and just the movement around the environments is
It's really fun.
it's way fun. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even own the game. Well, I guess I do, but I haven't even like started my own playthrough. But I played
You should. It's good.
on someone else's, and dang, it's a very well made game.
Yeah, it's excellent. So I'll finish that, which is good because I have 2 more Metroidvanias that I want to play over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And so now I have the space cleared for that. I thought that might be like the only thing I was able to finish this week, Devin. But lo and behold,
Ha!
I started a new game and finished and platinumed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not very long. This game's called I don't know if it's Neva or Neva. I couldn't tell how she was pronouncing it. But this game is from the same company that made a game called Gris, Gris, and they make very artsy games. The first one's just a puzzle game. I don't think it has any combat. This one does. So it's a 2D side scroller. You're basically trying to save the forest from being like infected by this black goo, and these like black goo creatures. Game has hardcore Princess Mononoke vibes, which is like totally fine with me since that's one of my favorite movies. You play as a woman whose like best friend partner is a giant wolf. So again, very much like Princess Mononoke. The wolf's name is Neva, and yeah, there were times where like I was wondering, am I gonna like this? I feel like it's a little too like slow and somber. Sometimes they take an extra few seconds for you to like go through an area than maybe I wanted, but I think it's because they want you to like take in the visuals because it is beautiful. It's like playing like a pastel painting. Like it looks like that you're seeing on the screen while you're playing. Just a little bit more from the side, but man, I couldn't recommend it enough. I paid $15 for it on sale, I think, and I think I got the platinum in like 5 hours. So it's not very long. You can beat the game in probably 3 or 4 if you're fast and don't die a lot. But there are some fun secrets. The story is like really, it's not like incredibly what's the word, like innovative, but it's really well told. There's no words in the game other than your character saying the wolf's name. Like you'll say Neva if you push triangle. But just through music and how the characters look, you have a pretty great relationship with like this wolf as it grows up from being a puppy. What's a baby wolf? A pup.
Speaking of puppy, I remember what I watched now.
Oh, nice.
It's called Arthur the King.
Okay.
Has Mark Wahlberg, and he's like really committed it to winning this extremely long, like 300-400 mile race with bikes on foot on paddle boats. And,
triathlon.
Sure, okay. That word. And he like meets a dog at one of the first checkpoints, and somehow this dog like follows him almost like all the way to the end, and he builds this bond with this dog, and it was actually extremely touching. Anyways, we have one more game that Dave's been playing.
Anyways, yeah, just putting a bow on Neva. Really great. You have to be okay with, paying $15 for a 3-4 hour game. If not, wait for a little steeper of a sale till it's like $10, but even at full price, I think it's very much worth it. It's very high quality. It's a great 3 to 5 hours. And I know some people have been saying like it's like a super sad game, like the story was just like incredible. I thought it was really great. Had some great highs. Never got to like the point of like tears or anything. But
sure,
it's really good. And there's no proof, so you would never know. So platinum that, Devin. That's my first platinum of the year. Platinum number 51. So
that's crazy. That like 10 times me.
Next up, I've been playing this game with my kids. It's called Biped, and it's a strictly, well, I think they do have a solo mode, but it's meant to be played co-op. And each player takes control of this cute little robot with 2 legs, and you control the left leg with the left thumbstick and the right leg with the right thumbstick. And you basically just have to like complete all of these challenges. And it's just very cute. It's fun. My kids really like it, even though it's pretty hard, especially for them who are trying to like figure out thumbsticks still a little bit, even though they play tons of games like Minecraft and whatever. It's just a little bit different. So it's difficult. You fall off the edge a lot, make mistakes, and you laugh, and it's fun. But I love a cute little platformer like this. So I think it was on PlayStation Plus like a year or 2 ago. So you might have it in your PlayStation library. If not, I think you can get it for a pretty low price. And there is a sequel being made for PlayStation 5. So Biped 2 eventually. So I would recommend that one as well. I don't think it's a very long game, but if you like playing games with your kids, it's fun, silly, and it will challenge you a little bit. And there are also like with every level, there are 2 advanced like challenge levels. So if you really want to get challenged, you can do those as well. We haven't done any of those, but yeah, those are the 3 games, Devin, that I played this week. Finished 9 Souls, finished and platinumed Neva, and been playing a bit of Biped. I'm basically
killed it.
Waiting and trying to finish up some other games. I want to finish The Case of the Golden Idol and Ranger. And if I have both of those done, then I'm like in a really great spot for Ender Magnolia, which comes out next Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure which day. Anyways.
That's exciting.
That's it for me for video games this week, Devin.
Oh, I've hardly played anything, to be honest. Dabbled in a little bit of Rocket League and Clash Royale just for like daily rewards. And then our good friend Christian Reyes himself has got me to download Marvel Rivals, and it's just sat there downloaded, and I've never turned it on. So
I have actually heard it's supposed to be great.
It looks fun, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I have a hard time with like those Overwatch type shooters, or any like multiplayer shooter like that. Like, what's the other one I'm thinking of that Riot made?
Valorant?
Yeah, Valorant. Because I feel like people start to, even Call of Duty, learn the maps so well and maximize like the DPS they can get with each character or whatever. Whereas if I jump in as a casual, I like can't even stand a chance. That is a really hard thing with multiplayer games. You really have to commit. I mean, I love that about like Rocket League, where like you're gonna get crushed, and you have to get better. But with a shooter, I feel like, man, I feel like I've played thousands of these. I should be a little bit better. But you're
There's
not.
almost not enough time to commit fully
There's not.
to any game to become the best.
Yeah.
I mean, there's better things to commit to probably, but I understand the fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's nice about a game that has a start and a finish.
I agree.
It's like
Single player, man. Love it.
There's something to be said about a game being taken from you once you've seen all the content. It's like, dang, I won't miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I can play this game for the next 8 years. I don't appreciate it as much. It's very repetitive, and people are sweaty, and they're yelling at you, and they don't think you're good at anything because you made a mistake, and they know more than you because they watch so many YouTube videos. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I do. I love brevity in all of my fiction.
What a word. Say that again.
Brevity.
Oh,
it
wow.
basically just means like and what does brevity mean? You're able to say things eloquently or nice in a small amount of words. Brevity. Even in, movies or TV shows, I think if your game or anything is outstaying its welcome, it's too long. I think it should even be slightly shorter than you think it should be, because you want to like miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't know, if Neva is a good example. The game ended, I think, just about at the right spot. If it had tried to become a 10-hour game, I'm like, am I really going to love 5 more hours of this? Like, so I appreciate like respecting my time as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that game where you do the weirdest things? Like you like cut fish and pass it over and
Overcooked?
no. You like go on like a tree swing.
Oh yeah. The
Edith Finch.
Yeah, that's the one.
That game. The game was short and sweet, but also like very well thought out.
It was. Yeah, I love that one.
But it could even have been slightly shorter for me, and I would have still appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, a lot of the horror games I've played tick that box where it's like the mechanics weren't perfect, but the environment was so fun for an hour to an hour and a half that it's memorable, and I would honestly probably give it a higher rating than I would if I played it for 5 more hours.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that's kind of we've talked about this quite a bit on the podcast, to be honest, but it's kind of I don't know the right word, fallacy, I guess, of a lot of game development nowadays is everyone thinks their game has to be long. If I can put Assassin's Creed as 80 hours, then people are like, oh, heck yeah, I want to buy it because I'm going to be able to play this game for a long time. And I get that as like a teenager, that makes a lot of sense because you're like, oh, I want to get as much time for my dollar as possible. But it's funny how that flips once you're an adult and you then do have enough money, but not enough time. Yeah. Whereas as a teenager, you're like, I have infinite time, but no money.
Yeah, so my memories of Assassin's Creed, to be honest, was every area feels like a repeat of the last area.
Right.
I get to this place and I just have to take out all these ads and then one general boss. And he just has a different name. And it's like, did we really need every section just doing the exact same thing? Yeah. I think that's why I struggle finishing some open world games, even like really good ones, like Horizon Forbidden West. Mm-hmm. I even think they do a really good job of like slowly giving you differences. Like, okay, you've unlocked a new robot you can befriend and help you with the fights, or eventually you can fly. Eventually you can blah, 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 blah. This area is now focused underwater. So they like really shake it up. And even then, I think the game's too long. I think you have to shake it up. Like in Uncharted, I don't know if it was 4 or what it was, but the second or third level, you are a 10-year-old in pajamas climbing around a house.
Right.
Instead of a guy shooting endless amounts of enemies like Gears of War over and undercover. Like,
I think Uncharted does it really well.
Yeah.
And I still think Uncharted could be slightly shorter.
I agree. Yeah, I really do.
So I don't know. Now that we've had this talk, maybe Neva is my new favorite game.
It's the greatest game you've ever played.
I like short games all of a sudden. But yeah, anyways, I don't remember how we got on that discussion, but played a lot of games this week. I hope that I'm looking forward to Ender Magnolia and what's the other one that I'm excited for? War of the Whiskers? What's it called? Tales of Iron 2?
The mouse one.
Yeah, the mouse one. I hope that they don't overstay their welcome. That is hard. Even with like board games, there are some games I love that I just think are too long. So you really got to earn the time. That's a got to be a tricky thing as a game maker. Like, okay, I think we have a great idea, and that great idea could be excellent for 3 hours. But if we stretch it to 10, we can sell the game for $20 instead of $9.99. You know.
Mm-hmm. You know what game they should have made 1 hour long? The Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great example.
I was so bored after just walking as slow as possible, getting attacked by not making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even want to finish it.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, meh, no, thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of my favorite games are ones that are really short. You brought up Edith Finch, which is a great one. Portal, like you can finish Portal in just a couple of hours. But
Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares. Spelunky. Well, that's not a good example because
Spelunky's amazing though. It's in its own box.
Yeah. Anyways, lots of good games. I don't know where that spurred on, but as far as board games are concerned, Devin, I wasn't able to play anything until you got here, and we played a game just a little bit ago.
Go.
So we're gonna go down to the table. Hopefully, this doesn't break everything, but should be here any second. Here we go. We're down at the table. We just played our first ever game of Kelp. This is, I think the full title is Kelp, Shark versus Octopus. And in the game, one player plays as this cool shark, and the shark has a cool miniature. Other player plays as the octopus using these kind of domino-shaped pieces, and you'll be standing up most of them. They'll be hidden from the shark who sits on that side. But you do have to reveal some of them to him, and you're trying to hide and kind of get away from him, and at the same time eating all of the food that you need. If you're able to eat all 4 of those, you win. If the shark runs out of energy from doing his stuff, he loses. Or if the shark eats the octopus, then the shark wins as well. Devin, you played as the shark here in our first game. How did you like playing as the shark? The shark uses a bunch of dice and this bag. So it's bag building with dice. Octopus uses deck building with cards. And then the different kind of things I already talked about on the board with hiding and stuff. What do you think about playing as the shark?
I liked it a lot. I think if you played 10 times, each play would be a bit different, which I appreciate in a board game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got some expansions, which would make it even more different. It reminded me of that airplane game we played.
Oh, Sky Team. Yeah.
You can just add all these things to make it different.
Exactly. That's a great pull.
And then you seemed kind of scared of me the whole time, so I felt pretty cool.
Mm.
And then I actually got the dub for once in my life, which was also a nice victory for me.
Yeah.
No, it's a good game. The mechanics are fun. They're unique. And if I were to play it again, I'd do it completely differently, which would make me want to play it again.
Yeah, I agree. And after playing once, I don't think either side seems like the boring one. Like in some games like this where both sides are playing pretty differently, you have like one faction or one side that nobody wants to play. Thinking of like Root, I think there are some factions that people are just like, I don't want to play that one, you know. Obviously Root has like 12 factions, so that's a little bit different, but both sides seem fun and like cool in their own distinct kind of way. I was able to get 2 of my food eaten, but I got next to my 3rd and 4th ones, but wasn't able to pull it off, and Devin did eventually here get the win. The way that you win with the shark is you strike at either the octopus when it's revealed or at a hidden block that you think is the octopus. And if it is, then you have a confrontation. And in the confrontation, each side, the octopus and the shark, have 3 cards that are 3 different colors, red, blue, and yellow, I think. And so both players play one face down. The 3 different cards will allow the octopus to do 3 different things. And so that can kind of help you know maybe what you want to do, or the shark to know what the octopus might want to do. And then all 3 of those cards have a counter card that the shark has. And if the shark correctly counters the card the octopus plays, then the shark wins and eats the octopus. that mechanism seemed like I wouldn't like it. Like it would be kind of too much random rock, paper, scissors-ness. But in practice, it was actually kind of exciting. Devin was able to shuffle or cycle through the Sharks cards over here pretty well and was able to buy a card. It was a very expensive card, took a lot of his energy, which bumped up this kind of energy track and got him pretty close to being exhausted and losing. But using that card, he was able to remove one of the 3 sets of confrontation cards. And so going into that confrontation, he then had a 50-50 shot at being correct with the confrontation instead of a 33% chance like you would usually have in your first attack. So it seems like you have some pretty cool ways of mitigating that as the shark. And as the octopus, you're like, okay, well, this card would be best for me here. The one I played would have let me move the shark all the way over here. And so that would be the best one for me there. But I know that he knows that and what that card does. And so I might not want to play it because he might know. So I think there's a little bit more nuance to that than just strictly being a rock, paper, scissors mechanism there. But if you think about like the theme of a shark and an octopus, it probably would be kind of luck of the draw a little bit. The shark strikes and the octopus does something to try and escape, and it might work or it might not. So I didn't dislike that ending as well. You played well, so I didn't feel it was undeserved at all. So anyways, really liked Kelp. I'm excited to play with some of the expansions like Devin mentioned. They add like a jellyfish that the octopus can ride on, some sea urchins. There are some cool rainbow dice in one of them that lets a die act as 2 different colors so you can have some more flexibility. Seems cool. I think that this one, while it is slightly confusing to teach, it's actually pretty simple to play. And seems like it'll have quite a bit of variability with all of that stuff.
It's a cool looking game too. This green color, the blocks are cool. The little shark's cool.
Yeah. This is just the retail version as well. I did not back this one on Kickstarter. I think if you did back it on Kickstarter, along with the shark miniature, there was also an octopus one. But the octopus miniature just holds a metal coin with your hand limit on it. This 4 or 5 that I had here. So cool looking, but doesn't really change the gameplay because you still have these domino pieces to hide the octopus. And then I think these bags had like an embroidered picture of the shark and the octopus on it, but I think that's the only difference.
Well, without that embroidery, I didn't even know if I was the shark.
It's true. He kept,
I kept giving it to you.
He did.
It's like, you want this bag?
Do you want all these dice? Yeah.
No, the game's cool. The game was super cool.
Very cool. I know it's gotten some really great reviews online from some people, and then some really scalding ones from others saying that they hate that confrontation mechanism. I think at this point I would rate it pretty well in favor of it being a great game. I want to play it some more and see if any more like qualms come up with that. But very cool. It feels fun to play. It is just cool. I don't know. That is the word I would describe it with is, I think, cool. Like watching you put down these cool current dice and then like really zip around. I was like, kind of like scary and cool.
All I can focus on is qualms and nuanced. I'm over here going, what do those mean? Anyways.
Qualms like an issue or a problem. Nuance is like a depth or like small details. Anyways, yeah, that's Kelp. Played that. I'm excited to play it some more. I actually really, really enjoyed it. I need to log our play in my app so that it syncs over to a Board Game Geek. But all right, Devin, I'm going to come back up to, what are we on now? I think to our faces. Here we go. Face only. See if that freaks out. It did a bit better than going the other direction for some reason. All right, we're back. So for this next section is things we're excited for. I'm a couple weeks out from most of the video games I'm most excited for. Donkey Kong Country Returns does come out today, but at $60, I'm going to be waiting a while for that one since I have the Wii version downstairs, so I probably won't get that for a bit. Ender Magnolia, like I said, is on the 22nd. That one I will be getting, so I'm excited about that. Any games that you're excited about, Devin? I know there's really none coming out for a couple of weeks other than those, and maybe some smaller ones that I've missed. But anything that you're planning on playing or looking forward to? Or just is it crushing noobs in Rocket League and Clash?
Probably the last thing you said.
Yeah, Devin is very good at crushing the noobs.
In a kind way. No toxicity.
No.
I'll destroy you with kindness.
And then say trash teammate and leave the match.
Yeah. Hey, you've got a board game you're looking forward to.
I do, Devin. So this is full circle. This is getting back to the $1.43 I spent.
Oh.
I'm trying really hard not to spend any money. Excuse me, this year. Well, yeah. Save up for some stuff. But I got a gift card from work. And so there's this game that I have wanted for a little bit. Let me go back to the screen real quick and we can talk about it just for a second. Where are you at? Screen and two faces. Here we go. The game is called Marabunta or Marabunta. Not exactly sure. And I'm excited about this one because of a few different reasons. First one, Devin, who's the designer?
Reiner Knizia.
Oh yeah, that good doctor.
Oh man.
And is also published by Space Cowboys, and they do some really great 2-player games. This will be here tomorrow, and I'm excited to play it. It is a 2-player game, has kind of this silly theme where you're playing as ants. But I'm excited because it's the mechanism of the game is called I Split, You Choose, which isn't used very often in games. Basically, you have this board, sit across from each other, and you're trying to control different areas of this ant colony, I guess. On each turn, you're going to roll 6 dice. Oh, that zoomed in really far. Let's find a different picture. Okay, that's an okay picture, but not one that I like either. Okay, this one's okay. You're going to roll 6 dice, and then you're going to split them into 2 groupings however you want. But after you split them, the other player gets to pick one of the groupings first. So your goal is to split them in a way that you will get what you want and give as little to your opponent as possible. But if you make it too obvious, then they're obviously going to take the one you want. So I think that's a really cool mechanism. It's used probably most famously in a little card game called Hanamikoji, which is like a 10-minute card game that's really great that uses that mechanism, but I have it behind me. I can't find it. So I'm excited to try this one. It's supposed to be super. Came out this last year in 2024, and I've heard only great things. So I did order that with the gift card. I was able to get it for $1.43. So I think I'm probably forgiven. But yeah, excited to try that one, Marabunta. And gotta love that queen ant. Is that Princess Ada?
It looks just that. I was gonna say it, and then you brought it up. It looks just like A Bug's Life.
Yeah, a little bit for sure. So I hope it's a keeper. I do like a good 2-player game, and this one will probably be pretty quick. Let me see. How many minutes does that say? I bet it's 20 to 30. Oh, 30 to 45. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be long. We'll see. We just played Kelp, which was about an hour, so I think we're fine. All right. Other than that, Devin, I think finishing some other video games and stuff is all that I'm excited for. So we usually jump into the news. There is no news this week. So Devin, there's one thing that I guess maybe we should bring up. There are a lot of rumors again about the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's go back to our faces while I tell you this. There were like those accessories companies that leaked a bunch of things, and the newest rumor this week is that Nintendo is going to have 2 different videos go up. The first one is going to go over the Switch 2 hardware, and then about a month later, they're going to have a software video where they go over the games that are going to come out for it. The rumor for the hardware video is that it's coming out tomorrow. So we'll see if that's true or not. If so, then we'll talk about the Switch 2 next week. But other than that, there's really like no news. The rumor for the software video for Nintendo is that Mario Kart 9 is going to launch with it, and the next mainline Mario 3D game is going to come out in the fall, which would be a pretty killer bang bang.
Could it be Galaxy, or is there no way?
Oh man, if it is, that would be wonderful.
So there is a chance.
There is definitely. I feel like they try to do kind of new things with those 3D Mario games, and they haven't done a Galaxy since since on the Wii, but they did remaster the Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy on the Switch. So I don't know. It could be Mario Odyssey 2, or maybe they try something totally new. My guess is it will be something totally new with a new name. But those are the two rumors. We'll see tomorrow if the first one is true, and not for a little bit if the second one is true. How much do you think that Switch 2 is going to cost?
$450.
$450. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're wrong. The Switch is $300, and I don't think it's really ever got a price cut. Switch Lite came out. It's like $200, I think. It can't be docked, and the controllers can't come off the sides.
So are you thinking it'll be a little less than that then?
I don't know. With inflation being what it was, and with quite a bit new competition, with the Steam Deck and the Rogue Ally, and there are heavy rumors that Microsoft is working on an Xbox handheld and that Sony is working on a PlayStation handheld. I think there's going to be a lot more competition, which makes me wonder if the Switch 2 is going to do as well as the first Switch.
That's a great point.
With all of that competition, and that competition being expensive, Steam Deck is expensive.
They could raise
Rogue Ally is expensive. I think it will be at least $400.
Oh, so maybe I was right.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if I see side by side a Switch 2 and a brand new portable PlayStation, like Sony device, I'm buying that.
Right. You really, Nintendo knows that they can be maybe even not the least expensive and not the most powerful, because their device is the only device that's going to have Mario, Donkey Kong, Splatoon, Pokemon. So they hold hard to those games for sure. But it'll be interesting to see. I didn't get the Switch at launch because, what was it called? Zelda Breath of the Wild came out on the Wii U the same day. So I just played it on that first time I played it, it actually worked great. So I didn't get the Switch for like a year and a half after it came out. So I wonder how quickly I'll get a Switch 2. Might be something I hold off for a little bit on. I can't imagine that they're going to make like Metroid Prime 4 and the new Mario game and Mario Kart 9. Those are definitely also going to work on the Switch, I imagine. Because they want to sell it to 140 million customers.
That'd be very nice.
Yes. So, anyways, there's no news because of it being January, and that rumor is really the only thing of note. So, Devin, we're going to end this episode by going back to the screen. Let me see if I can do that without breaking something. Nope, that's not the right one. What did I do?
The other one.
I swear I have a screen button. Where are you at? Screen. There we go. I don't know what's going on. Throw me this. Well, what link do I want first so that it's not giving something away? We'll just go. Well, we're on Board Game Geek. That's fine. You know what? We're gonna behind the scenes here. I'm just gonna be on our faces for a sec while we open this top 10 list.
A secret.
And then maybe, Devin, we could pop that first link. Yeah, on the screen, and then that'll work. Sorry, since these top 10s get clipped out a little bit, I do like to have a nice little starting point for that video. So sorry for the extra little second here. All right, we've got that. Hold up, I think. Yes, there you are. Okay, now, so that's a little spoiler for anyone watching, so sorry about that. And then we're going to go back to just our face before we go to the screen again. All right, Devin, to end this episode number 42 of the Super Game Brothers podcast, we are going to look forward just a little bit at the year 2025 and just talk about our top 10 games plus a few expansions that we're most excited for that are coming out this year. Board games are a little tricky where they sometimes just announce them with just a picture. A little bit different than video games, which we also talk about on our podcast, where you usually know about those like years in advance, and they're like, here's 5 trailers. Oh, and here's like the biggest story spoiler in one of those trailers.
Mm-hmm.
With board games, you sometimes don't know very much, but there is some of these games that we know a bit about, some of them that we don't, but either way, here are the top 10 games in a combined list that we are most excited about playing and seeing in 2025. So here we go. Let's hop over to the screen. First up, Devin, we're going to do 4 kind of honorable mentions for these expansions. This first one of my favorite games from last year was Fractured Sky. A cool game where you're sending out troops hidden underneath like your workers, and they magnet to the bottom. This expansion adds, I think, different colors of those starfall pieces. And so if you're able to collect multiple of the same color, it kind of scales with scoring, whereas in the base game they're just a point each. I think in the expansion they kind of scale up to like 1, 3, and 6 or something like that, depending on how many of each you can collect. They look really cool. I wanted to show you the cool version here, but there's different colors of starfalls. I got this metal one, has the metal starfall pieces. So I'm very excited for this expansion. It's a game that is not what I usually like, because you have to be okay with like a little bit of luck, and you're more like reading the people around the room. You're never going to know perfect information about everything that's on the board. I'm making my best guess here, and I might be bluffing a little bit over here on the board and doing some other things like that. It's just kind of, what's the word? Raucous fun. So that's a Fractured Sky Rift. Devin, you've played the base game. Do these?
I have. I hardly remember.
It's been a while.
I remember the little casing for these pieces.
Yeah, very cool looking board that you have. How do these rainbow looking metal starfall pieces suit your fancy?
I like them a lot. I really love the gold ones and the red ones.
Yeah, looks like there's 4 colors maybe. Yeah, very cool. Here's some of the other pieces. Let me see if I can just show you a picture of what the game looks like. So you're sending your ships out to these 10 locations on the board. If you send the most troops that are underneath your ships on these magnet tiles, then you win the location and will get the starfalls there. Even if you don't, you get some stuff, some resources or something. It's a fun game. A little bit pricey, but for like huge like miniatures and magnets and like these custom trays and crazy stuff, it's kind of worth that in my opinion. So that's Fractured Sky Rift, the first of a few expansions here that we're excited for in 2025. Okay, next up is an expansion for one of the most famous hobby board games of all time, and this is the Homeland expansion for Root. And for some reason it keeps scrolling up to the top for me, but here we go. The Homeland expansion was kind of surprising in that they had teased this frog and the bat factions for a little bit, and then when they did release this Kickstarter, they said, surprise, there is a 3rd faction in there as well. And the factions seem really cool. I purposely haven't done like a lot of reading into them. I feel like this company, Leader Games, does more development than a lot of companies, where they will really change things even up until the game is like fully released. So I imagine there will be some tweaks and gameplay balancing that will happen. So I don't want to read too much into them, but love the frogs. Devin loves himself some bats.
I sure do.
So cool animals.
And I like how they undersold and over-delivered.
Yeah, very cool.
Like 2 factions, just kidding.
And the pledge here comes with the expansion, a new deck of cards that you play with, and can like swap in and out, and the Hirelings pack for the Homeland expansion as well. So good value, cool cards. Also,
And look at that frog meeple.
it's excellent, Meeple. I think there's also a new map that comes with this expansion as well. Yeah, the Marsh map or the Tricky Gorge map. It must be double-sided. So 2 new maps, 3 new factions, and a new with hirelings and a new base deck of cards. Lots in there. So very pumped for that one. That's like late this year. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was pushed to 2026, but we'll cross our fingers that this November 2025 date is accurate. So that's expansion number 2. Next up, this probably was, I don't know if it's my favorite, but one of my favorite games of last year was Reload here. This worker placement game called Harvest. I think it hits a great balance of being just above an entry-level game, but also having quite a bit of thought and even some variability in the game. This expansion adds a sideboard that is this fall festival. It's kind of like a, what would you call that, carnival kind of idea, where you can get some extra cards, get some pies and that kind of stuff. I'm very excited for Harvest. I think Keymaster Games makes excellent production, so all the pieces are always like amazing and awesome, and I'm just excited to expand Harvest a little bit more. So that's number 3, and then the last up is one that I think was supposed to come out last year. I have it pre-ordered, and they just emailed me and said, "Hey, it's available, but I only get free shipping if I like release $75 worth of items at a time." And I have one other game that should be out of pre-order in like any minute. So I'm just waiting for that one before I release this one. But this is that was a long explanation for the Veil of Eternity Artifacts, which adds quite a few new cards, these like creature cards, and a new way that you draft cards with these new tokens. So it actually adds quite a bit. Veil of Eternity is an awesome card game. A little bit brutal. You have to be a little bit mean to each other a little bit. Not too bad. So I'm excited to see how this changes it up. Devin, I know this was one of your favorite games that we played last year. Again, it was very early in the year. So
I'm staring at it like I was there.
Has cards that look like that, kind of.
Okay.
And then you put these tokens on them that look like that let you take the cards. Anyways, Veil of Eternity is excellent. So that was 4 expansions that I'm very pumped for. So getting into the 10 games. These ones are not expansions now. Number 10 is kind of wishful thinking for me. One of my favorite video games ever was this one, Don't Starve. Played it a ton with my wife. A game that she loves. She's way better at it than me. She like is really good at like the planning and like crafting and getting ready for winter and stocking food and stuff.
All of the surviving maintenance.
Yeah.
I am not good at that either.
I know. And I was like, ooh, a monster, let me go fight it. And then I die. You know? Excellent video game. I don't really love cooperative board games usually. But just based on the IP, I will probably give this one a chance. I hope that it comes together well. The company that's making it is Glass Cannon Unplugged. I don't even know what else they have done. It looks like they've done quite a few other licensed games. One for Apex Legends, Devin. I don't think that one lit the world on fire. One for Dying Light. This Frostpunk, the board game, I think might be the latest one they've done, and it was supposed to be excellent. So I'm really hopeful. But again, with cooperative games not being 100% my thing, not sure. So that's number 10. Don't Starve, the board game. All right. Next up, All Play has this, some reason that it likes to double load right now. This 4-pack of games that's delivering this year in their mini box line. And the one of them that I'm most excited for is called Ruins. And there were a couple games that almost went on this list that have a similar mechanism with transparent cards. And for some reason, I see that and I'm like, ooh, that looks fun.
Have you ended up getting one yet?
No.
Has transparent cards?
No. This will be my first one, I think. But you are basically stacking these transparent cards in these sleeves in order to, kind of make the best transparent card. Um, Seems really cool. The game's designed by John D. Clare, who does excellent games. So I think those two things paired together, I'm just excited to try that one out. And I like a good small game. If it can have enough depth that I'll pull it off the shelf often. So I'm very excited for Ruins coming out in 2025. You can see that stack of transparent cards there. Very weird looking, but looks cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
All right, next up, there are a few games on this list I'm kind of giving a chance. And I don't have a 4X game per se in my collection because I don't think it's a genre I'll really love. But I took a shot on this one. It's called Rise of the Wastelands. And kind of gave me like a Fallout vibe where you have kind of a base and you're going out exploring. There might be some monsters or other events and stuff. You're expanding, and you're also sometimes like bumping up against other players and their camps and their expansions. And that's kind of what a 4X game is. I don't remember what all the X's stand for. It's like expand, exploit, exterminate, and X something else. But that's what this game is. I like the vibe of it. And really the reason I gave it a chance is I think it was really cool. They have two different versions of the game. The deluxe version has these pretty cool looking plastic miniatures. And I really like having a cool player board that has all my stuff on it. And then I can deploy it from there, kind of like a command center. It also has a cheaper version, which is the one I got, that has screen printed wooden pieces. But they also sit on the player board really nicely. And I can't find the picture here. But if I could, oh, here it is. Yeah, I really like how those look. I think I like how they look better than the plastic miniatures. The screen printing just really pops. So I thought it looked cool. Like the player board. I watched some gameplay of it, and it seems like it's shorter than some 4X games. They can be very long. And a little more Euro-y focused. So, anyways, taking a chance on Rise of the Wastelands. I hope it's excellent. All right, next up is Ada's Dream from Alley Cat Games. I got a couple games from Alley Cat last year and was really surprised at how much I love them. One of them is Tinner's Trail, and the other one I think is Arborea. And I don't know, they're kind of one of my favorite kind of medium to medium heavy game publishers right now. So I'm really excited about this one. I don't know a lot about it other than it's dice driven and has this dice rondelle, meaning that the dice will kind of go around in a circle there. And a cool kind of historic theme about Ada Lovelace, I think her name was. Yeah. And trying to build I think it's alternate history a little bit, trying to build the first computer. Has some very cool pieces. Definitely looks like a Euro board there, but you have these pieces that even like slot in the top of your board, which kind of looks like a floppy disk or a computer chip kind of sitting in there, and then you're putting dice and these little gears on your board. I think it looks very, very cool. So that is Ada's Dream from Alley Cat Games.
We've talked about this next game.
We have. This is it says 2 to 4 players, but I think it started as a 2-player only game. And there are, I think, 10 different factions in this big box, and they each have their own unique deck of cards. And it has like really bombastic sci-fi art that was done by like 30 different artists, I think. But behind all of that is what looks like a very cool, like head-to-head card game with a little bit of bluffing, then also like some strategic play as well. Very card focused, kind of gives you like Dune vibes with some of the factions. And how it works is, let me see if I can see a picture of like your player area. Maybe not. But in front of you, you kind of have these two sections where, oh, maybe it's here, play the game. Nope, I already scrolled past that. How to play. There you go. You're playing cards next to kind of your main deck, and you can play them, I think, to the right or the left. One of the areas is called the Forge, and the card goes there face down with this kind of timer on the back. And the cards have to be like built in that forge. Depending on how strong the card is, it will take more and more turns for it to be built. But some of the cards that have the same back are called echoes. And I think it's the first person to get some number of echoes wins. An echo only takes 2 on that track to build. And so when someone puts a card down there and starts cranking up that timer, you have to decide, which of those cards am I going to attack? Do I think that he's bluffing with that one and it's actually an echo that I need to destroy so he doesn't get these end game victory points? Or is it some card that's going to hurt me later? So there's a bit of bluffing in there. I like sci-fi a lot, so I think the theme here seems really cool, but it does seem like they focused a lot on that like head-to-head kind of card play. And I don't always want a head-to-head card game, but this one looks cool. All right, that was number, what was that, 6, Devin, or 5?
I believe it was 6, yes.
Okay. Next up is a slightly simpler game than some of the others we've just barely looked at. This one's called Bakery, the Culinary Alchemists. And again, when we get down here, you'll see I just really love a player board that has all my stuff organized on it. I don't know why I love that. Everything has its place. It's one of the things I like most about board games. It just reminds me of like an inventory system in a video game or something where it like keeps track of everything for you. If I get to do that in front of me, I like that. This game has a little bit of that, but there's also a first phase in the game where everyone reveals a card. And I think if you reveal one that's the highest, you get to draft from the cards at the top section first. So there's a bit of like that surprise or that simultaneous selection. And then you're getting these, has this very like cartoony art style, which I don't mind. It looks cute. It has cute cakes and things. And you're using the cards from that initial phase of the round in order to kind of get resources and contracts for different people that need like potions made for them. So they're like heroes off doing stuff, come and stop at your Bakery for you to make them special cakes that will heal them and stuff. And it has a very cool player board again,
that does look nice.
where you are tracking all of your potions that you're making and all of your like upgrades and stuff. So this one, I think the components kind of pulled me in a little bit. Has these cool, let me see if I can pull a picture of them up. Maybe I cannot. These awesome acrylic potion pieces. Those ones that they're showing are not the acrylic ones. But anyways, very cool pieces. It seems like after watching a few gameplay videos of it, that it might have some really good legs to stand on, but pretty simple as well. So that's Bakery. I think that one delivers in April. So not too far out. Okay, Devin. At the top of this video, I mentioned that sometimes you don't know anything about a game other than the picture.
Right, yes.
That is the case for this one. As this cool, what kind of reminds me of like Stranger Things, but less monster-like 80s, 70s, 90s, whatever vibe.
Such a cool time.
Like the arcade cabinet there. This game, I think, looks really cool because of that theme. But the main reason I'm excited for it is because it is designed by Danny Garcia, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite designers. He designed Arborea, that I just talked about a minute ago, that I really enjoyed this year, and also Daitoshi, that I just got a couple of months ago and also really enjoy. So he makes pretty meaty games, I'm wondering if this one's going to be slightly simpler than his other games just because of like the way that the art looks. But maybe not. It does say 40 to 80 minutes, where both of those other games that I just mentioned are like 90 to 120. So that would make me think it is a little bit lighter, but that time frame might not be official from the publisher. So I'm kind of hoping that it is a big, meaty game with this cool vibe. So based on the vibe and Danny Garcia's name, this is, I think, my number 3. Is that right?
It's going to be amazing.
I think that's my number 4, actually.
It is number 4, yes.
Okay, number 4. All right, Devin, next up at number 3, this is
Deep Regrets.
Yeah, one that's getting a lot of buzz right now. It's kind of like Dredge, the board game. I think he was very much inspired by that. And pretty cool. I think it's this one guy, Judson Cohen, who I believe he does all of the art and the game design, which seems like a lot of work. But in this game, you have some really cool, unique dice, and you're going out in your ship to the ocean, and you're fishing, trying to get the best catches. And you have to decide like how much risk are you okay with of going mad. You can stay out longer, but your like madness track will start to go out. If you catch fish that are unusually weird, then you'll start to go mad even more. Has this very cool, kind of reminds me of like Bob's Burgers kind of art style, or Rick and Morty or something. And so if you start to let yourself go insane a little bit, then I think you can catch more, what's the word?
Exotic?
Yeah, like exotic and rare types of fish that are more valuable. Where you're trying to get, I think, points at the end of the game. But if you are the one that goes most insane, then you lose your most valuable fish at the end of the game. So you don't want to go more insane than everyone else, but a little bit might be okay.
I remember talking about this on crowdfunding. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. I really like the vibe. I hope that the gameplay really holds up, but it has an awesome vibe. I really love these dice that look like bobbers that go on a fishing line. They're just like a 4-sided die, but love that touch. So, Deep Regrets. Excited
Number
for that
2
one.
has 2 parts.
It does. Yep. I'm cheating a little bit here with 2 games here in the same series. This is the Dice Throne series. This Marvel Dice Throne Missions was supposed to deliver a few months ago, but it is going to deliver here at the end of this month. So, cheating and putting this part in. I'm excited for this part because, again, I don't really like cooperative games, but this, where is a good picture here?
Oh, this is way cool. Throwing the X-Men in there.
Yeah, we can talk more about that another time. I just got the missions section, and I wanted to show a mission board. Oh, here they are. Here are the mission boards. I think there are 20 mission boards that come in each, or that come with the missions pledge or expansion here. And you choose a mission, and they have 2 sides. On one side, you set up, and there will be like a bunch of minions that you have to fight, and you fight them just like you're playing Dice Throne, and it's quick and fast and smack, smack, smack. Then you flip it over once you have completed that side, and you get to the boss fight, and you fight some Marvel villain. It might be Green Goblin or Mysterio. I just went with 2 Spider-Man ones, but there are lots of different villains on those. You can play them solo, which is probably how I will play this game a lot of the time, or you can play it with, I think, up to 4 other players, and it's supposed to scale really well, has cool components like acrylic pieces. This is a magnet, I believe, that's that like dial that twists on there. So I'm hopeful that this will be the one kind of dungeon crawl game that I do enjoy. I liked Dice Throne Adventures, but I thought it was too long. And they split like the dungeon crawl and the boss fight into 2 like hour and a half sessions, Where this is like, here's a much shorter, punchy 30 to 45 minutes where you fight the minions and then you're at the boss fight. And each of the 20 boss fights are supposed to be quite a bit different. They have difficulty levels and that kind of thing. So I'm very excited for this one. I wanted to just show a picture of all of the, while we're here, we'll just look at the X-Men should deliver as well. You got Wolverine, Storm. I didn't get the X-Men portion. So Psylocke, Iceman, Jean Grey, and Rogue. I do like X-Men. Pretty cool. Gambit and Cyclops. And then you can also get Deadpool. He was a separate like add-on here. And here is the missions portion. This is what I'm getting. So you've got all of these different little mini campaigns with a different villain that you fight. Just awesome, awesome art on them as well. There's 20 of them on these trifold boards. And then you go through these fights. I'm excited for that. You'll also have these like ally cards that will help you during these fights, and your characters level up from fight to fight and stuff. So it could be a fun kind of campaign series to run. Excited for that one. Part 2 of number 2 here is the other Dice Throne campaign that I think delivers later in the year. But this one is called Outcasts, and it just has 4 characters in their new kind of strong box form factor that are more advanced kind of characters primarily, and they're kind of like horror adjacent, where like one of them is a witch and one of them is like the headless horseman kind of guy, a necromancer, and I think that she's like a raveness. And so some of them have like secondary pieces, like the necromancer has different like undead zombies that he controls. So they're a bit more complex of characters to play with. But one of the things I most love about Dice Throne is all of it integrates together. So you can use these characters against others, use these characters in that Marvel missions thing we just looked at. So anyways, the 2 Dice Throne deliveries this year, I'm excited for both of them.
Which am I? Especially the horror side. Well, yeah. I mean, especially the X-Men side as well.
Yeah.
That's a cool add-on.
Very cool stuff. So anyways, number 1 for me, if you know me, I like a smaller game, but I really, really love a big, meaty game. And this is my first foray into a game from, I think it's called Uchibakoya.
What is an Uchibakoya?
It's a board game publishing company in Japan. And they have a Japanese designer that has made a lot of their games. And this one is supposed to be very big, complicated, but just looks awesome. And I'm pumped about this one. So it's my number 1. It is Sweet Lands. For some reason, it seems like I like games that have like a cute aesthetic, but then are just brutally complex. That is like a dichotomy I like for some reason.
It is cool. It's misleading.
Yeah, a little bit.
You think this will be easy.
This box is huge and heavy. It's like the same size as a Lacerda game, which I don't think means much to you, Devin.
It doesn't, but there's a milk meeple in this game, and box. I need that.
Yeah, so you're like making sweets and trying to become the next leader of the kingdom of sweets. And so you use milk and sugar and all kinds of stuff like that. Has very cute meeples, but has a pretty intense Euro game kind of behind all of that. You're building road paths along your map board and choosing actions from this main board. You have your own player board here. You can slot like 14 different characters to play as inside your main board. And 450 wooden tokens. It's just a big box, lots of stuff in it. Very complex game. I think it's about a 4 out of 5.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever played one that complex.
You have not. I think you've played a 3.7 or 8. But this is a step up above that too. So anyways, that is Sweet Lands at my number 1. Very excited for this one. I think it's, look how big that box is. Big box. I think it's late. September is the estimated delivery for that one.
Amazing.
So 2025 looks like it's going to be a good year for board games. Most of these ones are just ones that, are delivering to me and that I know about. There will probably be many a surprise. Surprises are much more common in board games than they are in video games, I feel like. So it'll be cool to see if some others sneak on and we enjoy them more. But I do think a lot of the ones in this list will be some of my favorite games of the year. And that's going to do it for this top 10 list here on Gaming Top Down. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. And Devin, we did it. That's episode 42 in the books. I said it was going to be a short one.
42.
What are we at? Hour and a half.
We haven't had an episode that short.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes shorter than normal. So
crazy.
I'm going to count that as a win. But we did record an hour of us playing Kelp. So in total record time, we're still up a little bit.
And a teach.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we killed it today.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like my caffeine wore off towards the end and I just sat here. But hey, I was doing the techie stuff in the background.
You were running all the iPads. Well, that's going to do it for episode 42 of our weekly podcast. If you enjoyed this or had fun, make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers, where you can write into the show. Check out our playthrough of Kelp that we mentioned. It should be up on my board game channel, Gaming Top Down, here shortly. And we'll see you next week for episode 43. Till then, stay classy, San Diego.